Powerful and provocative, prophetic and practical, informative and inspirational. How you gonna do better if you don't know what better looks like? I do. Intellectual. Come on, let's talk about it with me, the mind massager. Intellectual. Let's do it again. Let's do it one more time. Intellectual. Like that means intellect. Intellectual with James Kirkland. Powerful and provocative, prophetic and practical, intellectual, informative and inspirational. How you gonna do better if you don't know what better looks like? Give some people a few minutes to come in. Get you some water. Come on, get you something to drink. Talk about get a glass of wine. Get yourself a glass of wine. Get ready for this conversation tonight. And let this music play a little bit longer because we're waiting on a few people to come in. I see Jimmy's already here, so we'll bring him on the screen in just a few minutes. But I want to give people a chance to come in tonight. We're talking about trading places, gender role reversal. Why women act like men? Sis, why don't you let old boy be a man? My mama keep texting me and making my phone make noises, so y'all tell them to stop texting me. I'm online. Intellectual Stew with James Kirkland. Gender reversal. Do women act like men? Are there some women that think they're more man than men? I want to talk about it tonight on the show. And Jimmy and Ashley and my phone has these notifications, so whenever y'all share something or anything, it's going to give my phone a little buzz. But I'm going to give this one more minute, then we'll get the show started. It's okay, you need a glass of wine, go ahead. You at home. They say wine's good for the stomach anyway. I'm drinking water though. H2O. Jimmy, you like that little groove? Ash, you like that groove? All right. Better bring y'all on in a minute. Hey, Brandy. Brandy, you like that little groove? Chief is a beast on that organ. My boy Ed Menifee. What's up? Getting ready for the show tonight, discussing gender reversal. I was grooving to that music, man. I wasn't ready to cut it off yet. But I see I got a few people that have already logged on. Say what's up. Get in the chat line. Get in the chat. Say, hey. Let me know you're here. Tell me where you're chatting from. And I'm ready to get the conversation started tonight. I hope we don't have any arguments or anything of the sort. We're not here to debate, but we are here to discuss. And what we are discussing tonight, we're asking the question, have women traded places with men? And if they have, why? If there are a lot of women that are assuming some manly roles, because what some people call strength is actually aggression. And there's a difference between being strong and being aggressive. You know, you can be strong with a silent strength. And I'm not saying be quiet, but I'm just saying this is just a way that you carry yourself and things of that sort. I'm going to go ahead and bring Jimmy and Ashley on now. Let them say hello, and then I'll give a little introduction, and then we'll get into the meat of the matter tonight. We're going to be on for a little while tonight, so I want y'all to hang out with me. What's up, Jimmy?
How's it going today?
Doing real well. Ashley, Jimmy, I'm going to need you to... The feedback is coming from you, Jimmy.
Okay.
So you're gonna have to either mute or put on some headphones or something so we can keep that feedback. Okay, keep
Is
that
that better?
feedback. No, I still hear it. I hear
Okay.
myself echoing through you. Now I can't hear you at all. You muted yourself.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, no, a little bit. You got? Do you have an earphone?
I need to. Let me see if I can find them. Hold on. Okay.
Okay, go ahead. I'm gonna let Ashley come on. What's up, Ashley?
Hey, y'all. What's going on?
Let me mute him right quick because that feedback was coming from him. I figured that out last week, and I wanted
Oh,
to make sure we don't fall into that category again tonight. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get the show started tonight. I see Brandy is in the chat. Anybody else that's that's listening, go ahead and jump in the chat right quick. Put your name in there. You don't have to necessarily put your name, but just say hi. Let us know you're listening. If you have any questions tonight, or if you have any comments or any concerns, feel free to leave those in the chat. We're going to be discussing those as we go throughout the night. Jimmy, let's do a mic check right quick. Now, what you got?
Is that better?
That's a whole lot better. That's a whole
Okay.
lot better. All right, what's up, Jimmy?
Everything's good, man. It's a blessing to be here, and I'm glad the people that are coming on tonight. I hope they get a blessing. God is speaking tonight, and He wants us to answer these.
Jimmy said he don't want to be on the show tonight. All right, Ashley, you there?
I'm here.
Ashley. All right, so Jimmy, click that on. So he'll be right back in just a minute. But so we're gonna get he said it's a blessing, and we're ready to get this thing going. It might not be a blessing in a few minutes if some of these people feel like they're being attacked, and we're not going to attack anybody.
Don't Listen, you say don't we?
Let me put this disclaimer out there. We do not attack anybody. We're not attacking anybody. We're not attacking anybody. We love women. We love what we love more than anything is relationships, and we love fruitful relationships. So we're going to try to do what we can to really push towards having a really fruitful relationships. Kawana, you're not coming on yet because I ain't even started my conversation yet. So you're gonna have to wait a little while before you start trying to come in tonight. Kawana want to come on and give her side of the story, and I get it, but we're gonna get her. So you can stick a hangout for a little while, Kawana, and we'll bring you on a little bit later. Jimmy, I guess he's gonna have to get his Wi-Fi worked out. Are you there, Ashley? Are you listening to me?
I'm here.
All right, cool. All right, I really wanted Jimmy to be on for this initial segment. Inbox him right quick for me, Ashley, and see what's going on.
Okay, give me 2 seconds.
Yeah, inbox. And what's up, Dennis? What's up, man? We're talking. We Ashley, before you go, give me that title.
While we are waiting on, go ahead.
Tell me what's our title tonight. Go ahead. So say it for all the listeners.
Tonight's title is Trading Places, and it's actually, let me go ahead and give the correct title of the thing. That's a subtitle. Trading Places.
Hold
on, y'all. Because in my mind, I had Trading Places all the way together. All right. Trading Places. Why are so many women taking on the masculine role? And it's basically, why have we traded places? I'm talking about us women.
You said us women. You better stop. They're gonna be mad at you. They seem like
I tell y'all all the time. I'm a person who, when it's our fault, it's our fault. When it's not, it's not. I'm right for right and wrong is wrong. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, but ladies, I'm gonna go ahead and apologize in advance if I agree with the fellas. Not because I'm jumping over and what is it, going against the girl code. However,
y'all got a code.
Do y'all got a code?
I'm just asking a question. I know.
But I'm just asking. Do y'all got a code?
Of course, we got a code.
Okay, then. So yes, we have a code. I'm not going against the girl code. However, sometimes we got to admit when the fellas are right.
All right, cool. So let me just say it like this. Around, I think it was around the 1950s. How I think it said that. What is the word I'm looking for? Illegitimate households or two-parent households. It was only 18% of households that were headed by single women. 1994, that number jumped up to 68%. Why are Ashley and everybody leaving me tonight? Y'all want me to be by myself tonight? But 68% is the number that it went to in around 1994. So what happened is that there was a transition that took place, and within the parameters of that transition, the household, there were fathers that were no longer in the house for various reasons. And I know that's the question that's what Kawana wants to jump on and discuss about in a few minutes, but for various reasons. But most of those reasons, believe it or not, a lot of it was rooted in slavery, but we can't only blame it on slavery, because there was a long period after slavery that the black family really began to flourish. And when the black family began to flourish, I mean there were 2-parent households. There were situations. Let me see what's going on here. All right. Okay. Yeah, there were 2-parent households and families were flourishing. Only 18% of households were single parents. But then as time went on, 68, that number skyrocketed to like 68%. And when there was 68%, then you got to question what were the reasons. I'm holding y'all. Okay, here comes Ashley. You had to question why those numbers began to change like that. Now, there were various reasons why those things took place. A lot of people want to blame it on slavery. A lot of people want to blame it on men leaving the household. But what it broke down to more than anything was poverty. And there was a professor at Johns Hopkins University that seemed to believe that as opposed to having a 2-parent home with a man and a woman in the house, it was more important to make sure that there was enough money in the house. So thus, welfare was supposed to, in a sense, take the place of the man. But the incentive for women was that if you had a man in your house, then you did not qualify for the benefits. And so the choice for a lot of women became, do I take the benefits or do I take my baby daddy? And so many chose not to take baby's daddy. They chose to take benefits. Now, the simple solution would be, no, why would I want to raise these children by myself? I shared a video with some of my friends today, and it appeared to show some young ladies that were questioned, that were young teenage mothers, seemed like they might have been in the projects or whatever or whatnot. But for whatever reason, they were asked if they wanted to be, if they would desire to be married. Every last one of them said no, except for one. And the rest of them, they all said no for various reasons. They said, I already got to take care of a baby. So if I got to take care of a baby, why I got to take care of a man? And the family is too much. And this is a warped mentality, right? But this warped mentality, it still involved women who were having babies. And if they had a warped mentality, then guess what? Their babies are probably going to have a warped mentality, right? And if their babies have a warped mentality, then their grandchildren are going to have a warped mentality. And now you got this generational curse that's waking and that's being perpetuated throughout the generations. And now it's no longer the normal to have a man in the house. 68% of households are led by single women. Therefore, their sons are not being raised with fathers. Therefore, there are daughters that are not being raised with fathers. Therefore, there's no male influence. And if there's no male influence, then there's just certain instincts that only men can teach. It just is what it is. And so
I'm sorry, go ahead.
So if that's the case, then what happens is at a certain point, women have to step up and assume a role. But in assuming that role, I mean, just because it is doesn't mean that it's right. Right? You feel what I'm saying? Just because we ended up this way doesn't mean. See, every new norm is not necessarily a good norm. Does that make sense? Because we kind of have to acquiesce, or we have to kind of adjust. That's what I'm looking to the type of society in which we live, right? So the question is tonight, why is it that so many women assume masculine roles? Ashley, I want you to answer that first before I bring Jimmy on.
Well, before we go further, I want you to go back to a point where you made in which you were talking about all of those great things, and why do men disappear after we become pregnant and we have the children? Why do they disappear? And some may say, and I can, y'all may say, well, I don't want to deal with the woman. Well, you were dealing with her in the beginning. So can I ask that question first before?
Well, I think the young ladies answered the question in the video. I mean, part of the reason, I mean, we a lot of us don't want to be where we're not wanted. And if I'm not feeling one, because they flat out said in that video, they don't want a man. Because if they have a man, they got to take care of him and the baby. Now,
I'm not speaking on what did the women say. I'm asking from a female perspective.
See what I said though? I answered it. I answered it. Listen what I said.
Because they don't want a woman. I mean, because they don't want a man.
They're basically saying that they don't want a man. So if they're saying they don't want a man, don't you think they're making him feel like he's not wanted too?
Okay, so let's not talk about those few that have, because there are some women that get pregnant, and before we get pregnant, everything is peaches and cream. Mm-hmm. And then once we have the child or going through the motions of, getting ready, leading up to having a child, then it go from sugar to S.
All right. So Jimmy's going to answer that question. And some people that are listening right now, you might have answered it. Young sisters, you might have been in a situation where you had a child and the man, abandoned or broke out or whatever. What was the reasons? What were the reasons that you felt like it was? Go ahead and put that in the chat, or if you want to come online and tell me, that's fine. Jimmy, what's your answer? You there, Jimmy?
My answer?
Yeah, on you. Yeah, what's your answer?
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Uh-huh. Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Am I breaking up?
No, you're fine.
Okay, you can hear me. Okay. Let me say this. First of all, a lot of times there's no conversation. There's no conversation about this pregnancy. First of all. And second of all, sometimes, ladies, and this is not being mean or this is not bashing you, sometimes a man don't want you like that. And then there's a baby come up, and then you pregnant, and he didn't want to, see, that's a lifelong commitment. You didn't have a conversation with that man about no lifelong commitment. You wanted what you wanted. And then there was no conversation. Now we can get into, he didn't wear a condom, or it's your body, it's your responsibility to protect what goes in your body instead of playing the victim, because some women will play the victim. But we have to address the real issues, and some men don't want y'all like that. Not all, but you have to have a conversation to see if that man is wanting to go that distance with you, instead of trying to make these men be committed to y'all.
Wow.
That's a big problem.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's a good answer. That's good. Now
it is. That was real good. That was real good.
Hold on. Shantae just said, but we both laid down.
We did, Shantae Honeyger.
We both.
Okay, can I answer that?
Yeah, would you please?
But the question, she said we both laid down, but the question is, what was your responsibility, and not blame the man as it relates to getting pregnant. Don't blame. We're not talking about the man. The man has a responsibility too. But what I am saying, only you can control what goes in your body. You have more control over that situation all the way to having the child. So the question becomes, who's more accountable? Where is the responsibility with having, we're not talking about laying down. We're talking about having a conversation. Do you want a baby by me? What if I get pregnant? What about that? What about that conversation? Instead of just getting pregnant and bringing him somebody that already has a child on the way, and you gonna make a decision to keep the baby, and he didn't want you or the baby like that. What about that conversation? And we just talking.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. I would like to interject on that, because one would be crazy to think that it's solely on the woman to have have a conversation about whether or not we want kids or you don't want kids. Number two, yeah, it is our responsibility on what goes up in us, but what about what slide down on you? You need to be or men need to be just as responsible with what they doing with their piece as we do with ours now. It can't be. It can't be. It can't. We can't say that it's all the female's fault as to why we are or why we end up in a situation. Because, and then here's the thing: if we have a conversation about it, sometimes it may go, well, if it happens, it happens. We'll deal with it when we cross that road. Now, us as women, we could say, or us as the man, it may come from the woman saying that. It's still then somebody needs to have a conversation. Well, nah, that's not how it works. So I still think that to hold the female more responsible for these type of conversations is not cool. Go ahead. Yes, sir.
I was going to say, I don't think he said the female was responsible, that the male wasn't. Yeah.
Okay.
Listen to me, ladies. I want you to hear me, sweetie. I am saying that the woman is more responsible, but watch this. What I am saying is, listen and listen good, ladies. I'm not saying you're to be more. Watch this. I'm not saying you're supposed to be more responsible. I'm saying that you have more control whether a person gets pregnant, whether the man puts on a condom or not. At the end of the day, the woman has more control of whether you have a child by this man. And a lot of women are having babies by men that didn't want them. And I say on my show, how do you expect a man to want two when he never wanted you like that? So we have that.
Now, so to answer your question, Mr. James, that you asked me earlier, or did you have something? I'm sorry.
Yeah, Jimmy, or who left me? Oh, Kawana, you're gonna come back in a minute. I'm sorry.
The question that you asked me was
let me get back to that question in a minute, though. Hold on.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, because you kind of want another route, and we all want another route, and I want to explore that route a little bit more. That's why it's so, of course, people do participate in sex before marriage and all those types of things, and we enjoy those things, but we also should be mature enough to understand that anytime we do that, there's a potential of having a baby. That potential, anytime you do it, no matter who you are, I mean, typically, unless you've been fixed or whatever, there's a potential of having a baby. And that's one thing we don't do enough, especially in our community, is the whole family planning thing. We don't plan our children. We just have them. I got people I went to high school with that have had 3-4 babies and ain't never had their last name changed. You know what I'm saying? And if that's not how that thing is, and I'm not judging or pointing the finger at nobody, but that's what you got. You know what I'm saying? And then if you got 3 or 4 by 2 or 3 different people and all these types of things, then it's going to cause friction. You're going to have people that don't want to be around you and all those things. And sometimes you do become a little more cantankerous. Pregnancy does something to your body sometimes. And like he said, if he didn't want you, how you expect him to want to? And now you want me, I got to take your attitude and everything that goes along with that. And that's a lot to deal with. But let's move on to the subject tonight. Why are we trading places? So what was, let's start. Ashley, go ahead. Hold on. Sharia said something. She said it takes 2 to make a baby, so 2 should help raise a child. Real quick, Jimmy. Now, they had more control, as you said, and that's true. They had more control. But now we passed the control factor and the baby is here. Still got to take care of that joker. Okay. Got to be responsible for the child.
And that's right. The man, now watch this. And watch this. The man definitely should be responsible. But watch this, ladies. What will happen is you got a boy, you had a baby by a boy in a man's body. You weren't patient enough to vet that man to see if he's responsible, consistent, gonna take care of his business. See, that goes along with not having that conversation prior to having a child by somebody that you really don't know. And so that's
the problem right there. You having a baby with somebody you don't know.
The man is supposed to take care, but watch this. The man is supposed to take care of any child that he creates. That's a given. But what is happening is men are having to take care of children that they didn't want. Just being honest.
Wow.
Because it's a lot of babies being born that a lot of men didn't sign up for. And I'm just being honest. We're not bashing or we're not fussing or nothing. I'm just having a conversation on how a lot of men feel. A lot of men feel that they're having babies. A lot of times we're having babies by women we don't want to have that type of long-term relationship with. And that's a problem that the man has. He's immature. And the problem is, again, we're having children by immature people. We don't take the time to get to know them, to know if I have a baby by this person, if that person gonna take care of it as a mother. Is that man gonna be responsible and consistent and help pay these daycare and buy these milk and all that? But if you don't know that person, if you have not had a conversation, you don't know his character.
Sharia is coming with some good comments, honey, on tonight. Sharia, your exact comment is exactly what I was thinking. We don't want they, as Jimmy would say, we don't want they black tails neither.
They wanted him in the bedroom though. See, this is what
we all want to get a good one off sometimes now.
Listen to me.
That's the point.
Listen to me, ladies. This is the problem that the men keep having. You want us, you see, right now, a lot of women will carry without marrying.
Okay? And there's consequences to that.
Backward, that's a lot, and it's backwards because God created marriage for two people with a child. Okay, and so the Bible specifically talks about marriage as a covenant with children. We're not honoring God by marrying before we carry. That's a great big, you putting a burden on the mother, the kids. The kids don't have a father. A lot of times the women don't care. The men don't want to take care of the baby. We got a problem, and we got to address it from a spiritual aspect because it's a problem in the African-American race. Why don't women marry before they carry? Let's answer that question. Why don't you take the time and be patient and get to know a man and see if a man wants you instead of getting on your knees and proposing to a man today? What about that part?
Now, Apostle Anika said something. She said she said that doesn't negate either from the responsibility. No doubt. There's no doubt about that. Neither one is not. And that's and hold on. That's and do me a favor, everybody that's on this live right now, if every one of you all to share this link, we probably can double this thread real quick. So everybody take a moment and share this link for me if you will. Okay. But this is the point right here. Nobody is shirking we're not even at the responsibility part of it yet. We're at the conception part of it. You know, I mean, so y'all are at this point, y'all are approaching it from an angle that we haven't even addressed just yet. The thing is, we can't even get to B if we don't stop at A. So, and the point is, if you take control up front, now, because the way y'all say it is, now we got two people who didn't even like each other, but we were just like animals, so we just had sex. I'm a dog, you a dog, you a girl dog, I'm a boy dog. So let me run up on you, hit that thing right quick, drop this off in you, and then 9 months later, that's how y'all are saying this.
He's telling the story.
And that ain't it. Y'all felt something for each other. You felt something for each other. You liked each other. He fit the part. He was tall, dark, and handsome, or had light skin with curly hair. He had something that you liked, and because you liked it, you let him hit. And when he hit, I'm sorry, I'm talking like that. Jimmy wasn't talking real spiritual. I know he got to do that. I know who I am, but I know I'm talking to a secular crowd. It's 10 o'clock at night. We talking to you. Let him hit, and when he hit, it either busted, you didn't use one, whatever it was.
We told him to go ahead and release him.
Go ahead, you know, baby. You sure you want this? Yeah. And then next thing you know, now you using the bathroom on a stick, and it went positive. You got pink or blue. And now you got a baby. Now everybody upset because did nobody have a conversation, as you said before this, because these are the consequences of what happens when you make those decisions. Because the original intention was meet somebody you fall in love with, get together, get married, have 2.5 and a dog, move on with life. It ain't a matter of now we got a baby, but I ain't like you in the first place. Well, I ain't like you either. Well, what? How y'all just fall into that situation? You know, out of all the stuff you could have done. Go ahead, Jimmy. I'm sorry. I can't take over. Go ahead. Go ahead. Oh.
You know, all I'm saying is to the women, all I'm saying to the women is we have to do it God's way. God wants women to marry before they carry.
Men too.
God wants a covenant. And we doing it backwards. We having babies with or without the father. It's like y'all, it's like to us, it's like you covet the child, but you curse the man. And so we're just wanting to get the relationship right. It's not about passing blame on her, because both of us women have a responsibility, and we're not finna get into the back and forth with who did this and who. We're gonna address the problem and get to a solution so that y'all can get the man you want, because after 27 you in the danger zone. After
So
27,
basically the conversation that we've had of leading up to or talking about us laying down, having these children, would bring us to the point of why so many of us are having to, in essence, get into this trading places roles.
right.
And I guess the thing will be is once we start trading places, is not necessarily a big, because we've had to trade places because one has lacked in the responsible area. Mm-hmm. So what the problem is, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, is not necessarily that we have traded places, is we don't know how to revert back to the role that we are actually supposed to be in. Yes, sir.
Go ahead, Jim.
No, what we're saying is women have, in certain cases, women have had to do it by themselves. In certain instances, women have pushed men away and ended up by themselves. And what I am saying is, just because the woman is doing it all by herself, she does not have to be manly about it. Because at the end of the day, a real man wants you feminine, sensual, kind, loving, compassionate. That's what the man wants. And if you're too rough because you've been doing it by yourself, you're gonna push a man away. You can be the best woman in the world, but you can, a lot of women say they're a good woman, but a man wants the right woman. It's enough. It's okay to be a good woman, but are you the right woman for the man that will bring that man some peace and work with him and cooperate and use your feminine energy to love him? That's what we're saying. We're just trying to get the women to get back to their femininity, because that's the place that inspires the man to pay all the bills and treat you right and love you right and buy you everything.
And Kawana, no, Jimmy does not hate women. I know you, and I hate you would even type that out here, but no, Jimmy does not. You say he sounds like he hates women. Jimmy loves women enough to tell them where he wants, in some areas they're wrong. And believe it or not, he has the same conversations with. Hold on, he actually has the same conversations with women as with men as well. Okay, so it's not about that. And Sharia asked the question, what about what women want? Women have been getting what they want for a while now. If the roles have reversed, y'all are in the front now. And so we're trying to figure out how to get back to a place where we can be in a union. I'm talking about a good union, and it's tough now because of the new norm that has been created. Listen to that. 68% of households are led by Black women. That's what it is. And for whatever reason, men are gone. We can blame it on mass incarceration. We got several factors that are working against Black men that we leave out of the equation. Okay. Number one, systemically, they don't want us in the house. Please understand that, because they know the power that's in a Black family. And if there's no power in the Black family, if the Black family is not united, if it's divided, then we're vulnerable. So what has happened over the years? Jim Crow has put mass incarceration in place. He's put welfare in place as a distraction. He's put all of these socioeconomic factors in place, and they put markers that make us look like failures. Huh? They put markers in place that make us
Child
look like
support.
failures, and they've devalued us so much and emasculated us so much. And in a lot of cases, sisters have helped to perpetuate that emasculation. And so with that happening, you've assumed a role that you wasn't equipped to do. Let me give you an example. Raising boys. If you teach our young boys how to use the bathroom, we teach our boys to stand up and pee because that's what we do, and we aim for the spot. You teach them to get it done. And so sometimes you got those that'll sit down or whatever they got to do because you think they're messing on the seat. No, it's a strategy to this thing from a male perspective. And you need men to help raise boys. I mean, I miss being in I'm glad even with my divorce, I'm glad that my children for the most part were grown, because I didn't get a chance to I got a chance to put some stuff in them before I left. You know what I'm saying? A lot of kids are missing those things. Hold on, let's look at some of these comments. Sharia said, let me put it out here. Why do you think some women, why do you think some women think they have to step into that role? Some men disappear though.
And that's what I was gonna get at, because you lovely men are on here. We don't. It seems as though it's becoming a one-sided thing, as though it's what all of the women should be doing or what all of the women have done to put themselves or get themselves in this situation. Nobody wants to. I'll speak for me. Nobody wants to be a single parent. Nobody goes into life. Well, I didn't go into life saying, oh, you know what? I'm going to go out here and have a child and I want to be a single parent. Because with my child's father, we were together 5 years. And so we had several conversations. But the fact of the matter is that we ended up going our separate ways. And then at that particular time, I ended up having to take on a role that was conducive for the lifestyle that I was having at that particular time. Mm-hmm. What ended up happening was it took somebody to actually call it out to me to say, it's okay to
let go,
allow a man to be a man. But if everybody doesn't take on that role to say, hey, let me actually talk to her, because sometimes women may not know. Yes, we've done it for so long. We've gotten up, and I don't take out no trash. I don't care where it is. Somebody comes by and takes out my trash. That's just something that I feel like I don't have to do. But if you've had to wake up, take your trash out, wash your car, go get your oil change, go do this, go do that. Then a man comes along and he calling your phone up and he like, oh, I'm going to come pick up your car and go get your oil change. Your natural instinct is, oh, don't worry about it. I'll go and get it done. And he may ask you to do that for a couple of times. And in your mind, it's, it doesn't resonate in your mind that you are not allowing him to do the things that he feels like a man should do. It's in your mind that I've always done this, so I got it. I'm going to take care of it. So I feel as though, now y'all may not have time for this, but if it's somebody that you see, you know what, it's just this one little thing that is stopping her from being that absolutely amazing woman. And you probably know her story. Is it that big of a thing for you to sit down and have a conversation? Just like we're going to sit down and talk about everything else. Mm-hmm. Can we not sit down and have a conversation and say, listen, baby, you are an amazing woman on all levels, but this particular thing is what is stopping us from progressing. And can she not then try to make a conscious decision, a conscious effort to then release that pressure, that burden, and allow the man to be the man? Somebody said they couldn't.
Hold on, Jimmy. Let that answer rest. Let's bring Kawana on. She's been waiting for 40 minutes. So hold on. Kawana, come on. What you got to say, Kawana? You there? Kawana. Kawana. Can you hear me, Kawana? I guess she can't hear me. All right, Jimmy, go ahead.
I can't hear you guys.
Well, we can hear you talk. We can hear you. We can hear you. All right, I'm sorry. Jimmy, go ahead. Jimmy.
You want me to speak?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Uh-huh. Yes.
Who do you want to speak?
You. Jimmy, speak. Lord have mercy. Jimmy.
Okay. Can y'all?
It
Okay.
may be a little
Y'all,
delay.
can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. What I'm saying is we should work together. We're not blaming. This show is not to blame anyone. It's to point out the issues that men feel and the issues that women feel, so that we can come to a resolve. We want the women. See, men usually aren't emotionally available, but now in this era and time, men are available and emotionally available to speak our mind, and we're wanting you to listen instead of just denying what we're saying, because we have a truth and we have a story too. You're not the only one damaged. You're not the only one broken. It's a lot of black men that are broken and damaged and got low self-esteem and toxic because they got mommy issues. So you're not the only one that needs to be fixed. And what we are saying is acknowledge what the black man is going through too. We don't mind acknowledging your issues. We want to
That's a good
love
point.
on you so you can heal. But it
That's a
has
good
to
point.
be, we can't have, we've been having one-sided relationships all this time.
That's a
And as
very
you
Can,
see,
good
can
point.
we
women
can
got
we
to step.
pause?
Okay.
Can we pause? Mr. Jimmy, can you address the last statement that I asked? Is a man, without going
Okay.
to the issues that the man has, is a man, and when I ask you this ain't, is a man willing to talk to me
Yeah.
and say, and I think Miss Anika put that in the comment, is a man willing to talk to me enough to say, hey, this is where I am. This is the only thing that's stopping us from progressing. Is he able to do that for a woman that he is wanting to build with?
Okay. You ready? Can
Yes,
y'all
sir.
hear me? Okay. The answer is if he's mature and if he is a man. A lot of times, men don't know how to express ourselves because a lot of times when we were little boys, our mother wouldn't allow it if we were if she was a single parent, or she would cut us off, and we never had a voice as a little boy.
Wow.
Fortunately, my parents were married for 56 years, so I saw communication. And so what I'm saying is you have to know who you're getting involved with.
That's true.
Women are not being patient enough to be able to see, well, can this man communicate? Is he willing
That's
to
true.
listen? See, we gotta I'm still at y'all so far ahead of me with this blame game, and I'm at the root of the problem, because if we deal with the root, we wouldn't have to worry about the bad fruit.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Can you hear me now, Kawana? Can you hear me now, Kawana? Kawana. Kawana, is your speakers on? You just sitting there just making faces and stuff. We talking to you, Kawana. Well, I guess Kawana is not going to be able to join us at some point tonight. But but listen, Monique said something that in essence agreed with Jimmy. She said we need to also acknowledge the plight of black women. And y'all need, I mean, Sharia and Kawana, y'all, Jimmy, you saying he's one-sided. Let me say something like that. Let me say this, because y'all are starting to play this. It's a very dangerous disease, and Jimmy can sometimes look like that, but I know his heart. But it's not, he's not pointing the finger at black women or anything of the sort. But when you have surgery, a lot of times you have to create an incision. And what he's trying to do is he's trying to create an incision to bring some things to light. We know issues with black men. Y'all been talking about black men forever. They put him on milk cartons and everything, called him a super predator, all kind of things. So we know what's wrong with us. But lately, that's not what's going on. So y'all have been esteemed very well. I mean, they're taking good care of you. I mean, corporate America, a lot of things are happening. I mean, social advances, but with social advances, there's usually an exchange, right? And that exchange, and then capitalism, that means that somebody capitalizes. And if somebody capitalizes, that means somebody has to lose. And in our relationship, we have been getting a lot of the short end of the stick as that as well. So yeah, at this point, we thank you, Monique. We would like to at some point acknowledge the plight of black men. And in that process, yeah, Jimmy does say some things, but if you listen, not only listen to what he says, but listen through and hear the end of it, because most of what he says is true. It might come out a little prophetic, and we're gonna try Kawana one more time, y'all. We're gonna try this one more time. If it don't work, I'm gonna have to. Are you there, Kawana?
Yes,
Thank
I
you.
am here.
Hallelujah, Jesus, bless his name. What you want to say?
Jimmy. It sounds as if you're putting all of this on women.
You didn't
Now
just hear
you
what I just
said
said. Wait a minute, you didn't hear what I just said.
I didn't.
I promise you that. Let me rewind. Jimmy loves women. He loves
does.
black women.
I did not say
women.
that.
And let me
I
say,
did not say that, but no,
let me
it's
finish.
not a
Let me finish.
responsibility.
Hold on, I can use this mute button. Hold on. Let me say this right quick. Now, what I'm saying is that he don't just listen to what he says. Listen through what he says. He's not just loving you where you are, but he's loving you to where you want, where we all need to be. Okay, so we're not gonna go and attack Jimmy. He's not attacking women. He's not. He's setting a foundation. Like I said, surgery requires an incision. And sometimes that incision, and because guess what? At the end of the day, the black woman is the most influential person in the family. So if we can get that mindset right, because it is, and black men too, both of us are warped, but y'all raising us. Remember that. So we got to figure out how to get that mindset right. So once we get that mindset right, and sometimes you shine light on certain situations. Now, come on, Kawan, I'm going to unmute you right quick. And don't be mad at me. I don't care. Go ahead.
Okay, so I can have my opinion now.
You can have it. But, I do still possess that power. Go ahead. I'm gonna
see, right, and right there, there it
So,
is.
Mr. James, go ahead and let her. We know that she is not let her have her because everybody is entitled to their opinion.
Me and Kawana have a personal friendship, so don't get in friendship business right now, Ashley. This is how we fight.
We all on the line.
This how we fight. We'll fight in front of all of y'all.
It's the ladies against the men, I guess. So let her have her opinion.
Ain't no ladies against nobody. This is all. We've discussed
it together. Against one, I guess.
Kawana, so. Come on with your conversation. Don't get in our fights no more, Ashley.
You heard what I said.
What I'm hearing, Jimmy, you keep saying that thing you're throwing out. Well, if we didn't want you, why we want a baby? If we didn't want you, well, if you didn't want us, then why would you sleep with somebody that you didn't deem worthy? Because accidents happen. So, let's just say if I was out with someone and I know it was just a jump off, I'm going to take every precaution not to get pregnant. But as a man, it's your responsibility as well, because they make trifling women out here that you, let's say, don't want to take home to mama. Rick James told you about them. So you're supposed to be extra careful with that thing too, because you don't want to bring a child into something that's connected to that person. So, we can put it on us and then jump spiritual, but we all have some. And who was really having conversations about, okay, now we finna do it. Now I want to make sure that that you're not gonna get pregnant. When you in heat and you doing it. So ain't nobody having rational conversations when they trying to get it in. Now, okay, so the next thing, I listen to those women saying, but did you hear them? James, when you talking about you gotta hear them. Those women said, I don't want a man because I'm already raising a child. So to me, it's stating that you have a childish person. So if you already raising a baby, why do you want this baby ass man with you that's playing boys to men? So did you hear her when she said, so that must be a problem with that man? Nobody wants to raise a child by themselves. Nobody wants to. That's not a thing. Because see, while we talking about all this, so let's talk about my story. Jimmy, you put your hand down. You ain't in church. You already had 45 minutes and I've been trying to get on. I didn't want children. Okay, let me repeat. I did not. I was cool with being single. I was cool with being married. My husband wanted children. I went for it. Ended up having twin boys. Man, that joker was jealous of them boys. Okay, so I can't compete with that. These are my children. I was a first-time mom. I'm doing what I need to do. But see, when jealousy set in with a man because you want all that attention, you want this a family, you want to be the leader, you want to be this. But see, a woman has a role too. I can take care of you. I can take care of my children too. But sometimes when you have babies, then you have to mother them, and then you have to man up and just be like, I got to wait my turn. But no, you want to run to go find somebody that can satisfy your sexual emotions instead of sitting your ass down, waiting your turn. So then that's when the conflict comes in too, because see, you brought somebody else into that instead of being a man and sitting your ass down waiting, because it's a learning process for everybody. So that's when women get bitter again. So we end up divorcing maybe a year and a half after these twins was born, and I ended up being a single mother. Hell, I didn't ask for him. He did. But since you got jealous and then you thought something else was different, but you took your ass out and took care of somebody else's children when you could take care of your own. So now your men, these boys that you had that you neglected, now they got a problem with your ass. So I'm having to teach my boys how to be men while their daddy ain't doing shit. Okay, so we don't want to do this. We don't want to. We want you to be in our life. We want a strong black man. We want all of that. But damn, help us, help you, help us, so we can be a family. Because it was like this, and Jimmy, this finna get real. I say it. My husband was doing a lot of cheating, and I just said, hey, look, this is what we gonna do right here. If you want another woman, if we had a business, let's just keep this shit in the family. You do you, I do me. We gonna come home at night. We can share a room or not. That joker told me, ain't no man gonna be sleeping with my woman. But hell, you sleeping with another woman. Shit, you doing what you want to do. I'm trying to keep the goddamn family together. But you want it your way. You want to control it. How many women will say that? Hey, if you gotta do this, then you do that. But I'm gonna do this too, and we're gonna still keep our family together. You can't handle it, Jimmy. When it come down to it, some men can't handle it. So I tried very hard to keep this family together, but I couldn't do it how he wanted to. So it wasn't deemed worthy. So bye-bye to you and your kids. It's what that was. But then when they got bigger and started playing football, guess who wants to pop their ass back up? So go ahead, Jimmy. What you got to say?
Jimmy. Oh, hold on. I got him muted. Hold on. Go ahead, Jimmy. I'm sorry I had you muted. Go ahead. What you got?
Oh, the only thing I can say to that is that you picked him, and a man can only do what a woman allow, and it's not about blaming. What I am saying is we have to address the root. See, we're talking about what resulted. We're talking about you're talking about what the result was, and I'm getting to the root of a problem.
Okay, and I hate when men say you picked it. No, baby, he picked me, because you know what? He was my first date at 16. He picked me when we were in the 5th grade.
But you didn't have to be with him. You didn't have to be with him.
And so let's check this, because see, there you go right there. You don't know my background. You don't know what.
I'm not trying to say anything wrong. I'm just saying.
No, you keep saying you chose him, but what was the choice? Because what he showed me when I was with him, he was a great one. He did everything in order. He came to my father, asked for my hand. He did all of that. See, what y'all need to be in accountability is you can put a good show on. And yeah, I picked who I thought he was, but then once we got married, that changed. So now, own it. You got some accountability into it, because when a man want a woman real bad, he will change some things.
You know what? Well, what's interesting about your whole scenario, and this is what I want you to understand as well, Miss Kawana, is that your situation is specific, and with your situation being specific, you definitely have a personal interest within your specific situation. That doesn't mean your situation is general. That doesn't mean that that's everybody's story, because Kawana has that story.
But it's a lot of our stories, though. But a lot of women just don't.
I heard somebody say today that most churches don't give back to the poor. But if you only been to 10, how can you say that most churches don't do whatever? You feel what I'm saying? So I get everybody has a specific situation, and I'm not saying you're wrong, and I feel you, because hey, that's a real life situation. But that doesn't necessarily mean that's everybody's testimony. And hold on.
I'm gonna say this right here too. I was actually, I know, but I'm gonna tell you the woman part in it.
Okay,
Now,
I thought the show said the intellectual stew with James Kirkland, and I really just wanted to make a point. Now I forgot my point, so you go ahead and say what you're gonna say. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay,
I just
now
lost my point.
I will say this about women as well. Women need to learn how to cater to their men. It's a lot of women, as soon as they get married, they don't want to have sex no more. And they need to teach that in the church. The same way you got him, it's the same way you gonna keep him. Everybody know how to make their man. Okay, you might have a headache. You might not feel like it. Everybody know how to make their man get off real quick. Do what you got to do, handle your business, and make that man happy. If you want him to make you happy, you got to do the same thing. But we got to quit making excuses. Oh, I'm tired. Oh, I got the kids. Oh, I. You was freaking before, and you can freak after. That's our thing too. And as women, we need to stop that.
And we
always want to give him all he want before he put that ring on your finger, and then your ass get tired, want to keep them damn bonnets on your head, and don't want to get your toes and your nails done. So of course he not gonna be attracted to that. You know, we ain't gonna be 100 all the time, but damn, you ain't got to be lacking 99% of the time either.
Absolutely. And that's true, and that's absolutely true. But we still, as men, we still have to be mature enough to do what we're supposed to do. And I can say that now at 49. I might not have been able to say that at 29, but at 49, I can honestly say that. Kawana, we appreciate you for your contributions tonight. We appreciate you. We're gonna move on a little bit further with the conversation. And I'm still gonna have to let it be known that Jimmy is not a hater. And Dr. Nika, come on. I want you to come on. If you I got the link in the chat right there. So I want you to come on. Huh?
I'll speak for
Yeah, you ain't speaking about. Go ahead.
The women's perspective. Well, you know, from a woman's perspective. Jimmy and I, the first time that I met him, was on social media. His delivery was horrible in my point of view. And he and I, the very first time that I decided, you know what, it was a snow day. I was gonna call him. Me and Jimmy stayed on the phone on video chat because I didn't have his phone number for 3 whole hours. And before we got on this show tonight, I told him, or I said to him, coddle us a little bit. And to me, he has done well in the instruction from the lady, in the way that he delivers things. Some of the stuff we may not agree with, but some of the stuff he be saying kind of it makes sense because it comes from a male perspective. Just like we don't want them to tell us how we feel. If you listen to some of the stuff that he's saying, it's coming from him saying what men want, and not all men, but a good majority of them. He don't hate women. If you know his story, you will find out that he still want a woman, but he had a real good love for some women, and he can tell his own story, his own testimony, but he don't hate us. He don't hate black women either.
Jimmy said he can speak for himself. What you got, Jimmy?
I know he can, but you know what? Sometimes a man telling you that I ain't that way versus a woman coming back and reassuring the other women that he is not that way is a little bit different. Now I know this your show, Mr. James, but you can't. I can speak for the women.
No, you can
help y'all out a little bit.
But I'll cut Kawana off in a heartbeat. I have to.
You leave Miss Kawana alone.
No,
she was trying.
Kawana know I cut her off in a heartbeat. That's my girl. She won't even be offended by it either.
Miss Kawana said she's been waiting to get on here to talk to us for 40 whole minutes now. Let her get on here and talk. That's what she said.
Why she sounds so aggressive though? She sounds like she's about to kick Jimmy in the ass.
Look, if you've been waiting somewhere for 40 minutes, you gonna be mad too when you get on there.
Hey, she would have been watching the show for 40 minutes.
Listen,
but no, she actually was supposed to come on at a very specific time, and we hadn't got to that.
When she said she been waiting, honey, that's just like waiting for your food at the restaurant.
Like she would have been watching the screen for 40 minutes because she's one of my biggest supporters. So she would have been right there, whether she was waiting to get online or whatever. But me and her have a conversation later tonight or tomorrow, and we'll laugh about it and keep it moving. But she sounded like she was about to beat Jimmy up. You saw Jimmy had tears in his eyes and everything. Jimmy ran off the show, all that stuff. See, that's what I'm saying. Y'all too aggressive. Oh man,
But
I
listen,
I
Mr.
saw
James,
muscles and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, I'm sorry. I was nervous. Changed the whole climate and temperature of the conversation. And
well,
then
you
you had
know,
women over there with pretty knees. They was cheerleading and stuff. Say it, girl. Well,
listen, but it's kind of hard to sit somewhere in the background
I know. I'm
and
just
you
messing
ask.
around.
No, listen. You ask women or you ask a panel, why have we gotten to a place of where we've had to trade places? And then when we tell you why we've gotten to that place, you or people in turn, and I'm not talking about him, Mr. Jimmy, or you, people in turn try to tell us why and how we got that way. I can speak my story, or this is whatever my opinion is as to how I got to where it is. And so, yes, while everything may be generalized, I can speak for me and how I got, and I'm not talking about me, but women, we can speak for how we got to the point where we had to trade places. And I know the end result of this is to figure out how we can stop doing that. But if you ask me, how did I get to the point where I was having to trade places, as Usher would say, then I would tell you exactly how I thought that we ended up this way. I don't think he sounds like he hates women. It just sounds like there are more excuses for why men are the way that they are. The excuses seem to be women or what women should do. No man can fix a woman, and no woman can fix a man. Dr. Anika, I think that's what I heard him say. I like that. Go ahead, Mr. Jimmy.
Hold on, let me unmute him. All right, go ahead, Jimmy. Because Jimmy, I'm still hearing your feedback for whatever reason. Let me
Okay.
mute you at.
Okay. Can the women hear me? Can you hear me, women?
Yes, everybody can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. What I'm saying is, is that better? Is that better? Is that better?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. What I'm saying, women, is this. I am trying to get women because as a whole, women don't understand Black men. So what I am trying to get women to understand, since women have never learned how we feel and how we think, because we have feelings, we have emotions, we have things about us that y'all don't know. And so when I bring them out, you've never heard it and you take offense because you don't believe that we should feel this way, but that's not true. What I am bringing up are issues you've never heard a man say. I bring up things that a man has never spoken to you about. Men have feelings, and we feel that, watch this, men as a whole feel that women do not believe we have feelings. We hurt too. We don't want to be disrespected either. And I'm not being mean. I'm not a hater. I got a Black mama. I've been married. I got 2 daughters. I love Black women. But Black women have to put on their big girl panties and be willing to listen to a man so that you can apply what you never heard. That's the only way it's gonna work, women. We love you, but you have to listen so you can apply. Quit listening. You worried about the messenger and you're not listening to the message. The message is more important than the messenger. That's all I'm saying. I am trying to tell women about things that we feel no one ever told y'all. So when I bring it to you, you can process it. You can self-reflect. You can self-evaluate so you can see some of the things that you may have been doing contributed to it. I'm not saying that it did, but it's worth processing.
Now, hold on. Apostle Anika just said that we can't be sensitive to something that's not shown. So how do you? What's your answer to that, Jimmy?
She says we can't be. But what Black women need to know is this here. Black men don't know how to express ourselves.
What women? Let's generalize it, Mr. Jimmy.
Okay.
I got a cramp.
Black
Please.
I'm just saying, a lot of black men
hey,
don't know how
work
to
on-
express themselves to you. We've been cut off so much. We don't know how to say what we want to say. We want to say, okay, this is what I want you to understand about me. I want to love you. I need you to listen to me. I want to submit to you because you should submit to me. We're supposed to build. Men want to be able to say that, but men are not trusting enough women. Women are not being vulnerable enough. We don't see where we can trust because a lot of times it's thrown back in our face. Not all the time. Not all the time, but that's an issue, and we have not been able to express ourselves. So it's hard for a lot of black men to express themselves. That don't make him not a man. That don't make he just don't know how to come out and say what it really is. It does not make him not a man.
And I think that goes back to the whole issue of communication. That's the communication is the issue as it relates. A nigga said you need to come. She said you need to come lay on her. That person needs to come lay on her couch and not be in a relationship. And that's true that we're not even getting to relationships because we can't communicate. We're not
it's about getting an understanding. It's the comprehension that we have because women are go by their feelings and we go by logic. We'll say what I'm gonna give you an example. We'll say exactly what we want. Okay, we don't want no relationship. We just want to be friends. Okay, but sometimes, not all.
Y'all keep talking. I gotta come right back.
Women are here what they want to hear. And the man said exactly what he didn't want no relationship. But then some women, not all, this is not all. I'm trying to show you examples of why men feel the way they feel. That's all I'm saying. That's it. It's no pointing the finger. It's not blaming. I'm trying to get women to understand when we encounter someone that we can't express ourselves, we'll shut down. And it'll go on to the next 4 or 5 women because we feel no one is willing to be vulnerable enough to allow us to open up. Does that make sense?
So, Jimmy, when you made the statement that you all tell us, I'll use the example you gave. You don't want to be in a relationship. So you tell me you don't want to be in a relationship. I accept it. But then you in turn start doing things that would, to any other person looking on the outside, reflects you wanting to be in a relationship. But I have put up this wall because you said you didn't want to be in a relationship. Now that thing, I've respected what you said, but now you've changed. And so now you looking at me like I'm crazy because I respected what you said. So sometimes men can say one thing, but they do another, which in turns have us all confused. And then when we come back and ask the question of you, okay, hey, what is this? And me and you have had these conversations. What is this? Now you ain't got a thing to say. You know it is. This is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Okay.
And I'm gonna answer that. A lot of time.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You want me to wait? I'll wait.
Go ahead.
It still comes back to a man not knowing how to express himself and communicate correctly. There's an art to communication. You have to be able to express yourself and say exactly what you want. And a lot of men today don't know what they want. Listen to that, women. Listen what I just said. A lot of men don't know what they want. We want in our core, in our spirit, we want a good woman. But after a man has had a lot of women and he's sleeping with a lot of women because it becomes easy, then it becomes a problem in him controlling himself. Okay, then it becomes a self. He has to love himself to control, and a lot of men have no emotional control. And so you have to be, again, it comes back to getting to know that person, asking questions, vetting a man so you won't have to go through those bad experiences, and allow a man, be patient enough to allow that man to appear who he really is and not who he say he is.
I got a question. And this is for the ladies in the chat and for Ashley as well. We really hadn't even got into the meat of the matter tonight. But I got a question. Sharia, since y'all over there, and Anika and Shantae and everybody that's listening right now. Y'all, because most of y'all are mothers. Most of y'all are mothers. Y'all, and I know, Sharia, you don't have a son, I don't believe. I think you got a daughter. But Anika, I know you have a son. Let me ask you a question. Who teaches boys how to communicate? I want to know that right now. Who teaches their sons? Because I'm gonna tell you, men don't really teach them because we don't have that soft side. I mean, we can make head nods and eye motions and point and all that kind of stuff. We learn by default. There you go. The mother teaches the son how to communicate, and you all end up in relationships in the future with somebody's son. So if that boy has not learned how to communicate, even as a grown man, does that fall on him or does that fall on a woman? Because mothers are women. I mean, because you got to say, and if he's a black man, he has a black mother, right? So if most of the communication, the responsibilities of teaching them how to communicate fall on a woman and he can't communicate, at that point, then I know y'all say, I don't want to raise a grown man. He's already grown. Wait, is he already grown? Willie Lynch said that the growth stops at about the age of 16. So at that point, so the enhancing or the next level of understanding typically comes in that. See, Augustine said something that was very powerful. He said, God has made us for himself, and our hearts are restless until it finds its rest in him. And that's kind of like a 1,000-piece puzzle, right? And with a 1,000-piece puzzle, you know, you have, what if we were given 998 pieces and we have a deity that completes us and we have a spouse that completes us? That means we go to somebody not whole. If I'm going into a relationship, I'm not already complete. And women, if you come in thinking that you're already complete, you got a problem. That relationship is flawed from the beginning, because we go into a relationship meeting someone that holds, am I talking too loud? That holds the missing part, if that makes sense. And so if the missing part is in you, Ashley, and he is walking around not, 3/4 or 9/10 or whatever he is, and he's not ever going to fully become until he meets a Monique or until he meets a Anika or until he meets a Shantae. That's why we walk around doing all these things, because we're incomplete. And we need somebody that completes us. See, y'all, we too busy looking for compliments with an I. The word compliment in the I means it brings a real egotistical person, because you need that to feed your ego to make you feel complimented. But we need compliments with an E, somebody that makes me better. And then good love, and when we doing it right, it reciprocates. You treat me with respect, and I treat you with respect. I'm gonna tell you one thing I do not do. And Jimmy and I were having this conversation last week, and I realized how I was traumatized in my childhood by some people that were very close to me. And I didn't even deal with it and didn't even know it. And that's why, to this point now, I shut down when I get this close to arguing with a woman. This close, I don't do it. If you raise your voice at me, I'm shutting down, because number one, I'm not your child. And if you and guess what? I'm gonna do you the same respect of not raising my voice at you. People don't know how to communicate. If you can't say it, baby, text it. If you can't text it, write a note. Do whatever you need to do. But you need to figure out a way to be effective in communication. And some of y'all are so aggressive with your conversation and aggressive with your language. I promise you, when the moment I hear that tone of voice or that aggression, I promise you, I ain't heard nothing else you said. And I read an article one time that said the art of fighting fair, one of the smartest things you can do is take about 5 minutes. If y'all tell me, just tell me if I'm wrong, let me know. But I'm asking that question. If mothers are the ones that teach their sons how to communicate, and you got a man that can't communicate, you already know why. What does Shantae say? What if the man is complete and he's not complete? If he's not doing right, he's not complete. He's not. And that's the thing. And let me tell you, and this is another thing. This is a myth about marriage. You don't get into a marriage on day one and know just how to be married. It takes years to learn how to be married. You looking at your mama's 30 and 40 year of marriage, and you don't realize what it took to get to 40 years of marriage. They didn't wake up 40 years of marriage overnight. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm dominating the conversation. Ashley, what you got? Am I saying
Oh,
something?
I was just reading this comment from Dr. Anika. She said, I think different. I think that's why we messed up, because we are looking for someone to complete us. I believe that we should I believe they should compliment you, not complete you. Just as soon as they fail in completing you, you are broken. No
Well,
one should have that power. I think I kind of
I have to challenge that from the you say someone to complete us. Complete is a whole number, and the Bible says that two become one. So that's Bible. So if two become one, the twain, that's two. And now you got two, and that's like two halves becoming a whole. Then in essence, we're not complete. And
well,
I understand your rationale, but
well,
if
I
you
guess
look at
it would be almost like saying someone to make me happy. If you're not completely happy within yourself, then it doesn't matter what I do for you. You still gonna be unhappy, because there are some things that are within you that haven't been settled. So therefore, I can come, skip, flip, turn cartwheels, slide down on
oh shoot, what happened? Okay.
things, and then do some other things, and still won't make you happy. I can be the best thing since sliced bread, and still won't make you happy. So I think maybe I can't speak for her, but that's just kind of what I would think. Yeah, we understand Bible says, two become one, but to be out here saying I'm looking for somebody to complete me, and we're just talking about not being married, I guess we would say, so to speak.
If I'm saying I just want somebody to compliment me, that means I'm just looking at somebody to be arm candy for me. I don't need nobody just to compliment me. You know what I mean? I mean I need to be completed. I need to be completed. That's what I need. I mean, I'm not complete. I mean, I don't think I'm happy. I'm good. All that kind of stuff. Go ahead, Jimmy. I'm gonna get you straight.
I think what she's trying to we're talking two different things. We're supposed to be two whole people coming together to complete each other.
Right.
We're two whole people, because a woman is supposed to love herself to be whole with or without a man, and a man is just a bonus to her femininity. And so we're talking about we need to be two healed and whole people coming
now
together.
Y'all agree with Jimmy? Okay. When it's a convenient, now y'all agree with just like. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And then it's
Don't
two
you
whole.
do it?
That's what we do.
Let me say this: it's two whole people coming together that are imperfect, coming together to make perfection. That's what I'm saying. But we should be whole and healed before we even start talking about a relationship, and then we're complete as each other, but we complement each other, being that we're just what each other needs.
And that's what I'm trying
you
to
see
make.
what I'm saying?
Yes,
and that we were talking the same. Y'all were talking the same language on different levels.
There you go.
We're just saying that we're two whole and healed people coming together to make one. And then we are imperfect trying to build perfection together, because as two, we want to build. That's the thing.
All right, what's say? Ask the read Lady Karen Hayes' statement. Hold on, I got you muted. Hold on. Go ahead. Read it again, Ashley. Hold on, let me get you unmuted. Are you unmuted? Can't unmute your guest because.
Hold on, here we go.
Yeah, you muted yourself. Yeah.
Okay. I don't believe two people become one person as a person. Mm-hmm. God never requires any one person to give account for another, and there is no marriage in heaven.
Yeah, it's just a matter of two whole healed people coming together to have the same mindset in a covenant. Listen to that. It's two whole people coming together to have the same. The Bible says, how can two people walk together lest they agree? So me and my partner must come together and agree as one in the direction that we're gonna go.
Gotcha. And that what I was trying to say is what what an apostle just said. The problem is you have two broken people coming together trying to create something whole, and and then you end up making a broken mess. But I think if the pieces fit, and that's the point I'm trying to make, is that if the pieces fit, then you've created a really, 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 really good foundation for what could and what should be in a relationship. Now let's go a little bit farther. We talk. Jimmy, we talked about this issue of this phenomenon that we see on Facebook now, where we see women proposing to men. Women, what do y'all think about that? What do y'all think about women that propose to men? Ashley, what do you think about it?
Baby, I'm not doing it. That's just, I don't care how independent a person say that they want to be. That's just not something that I'm doing. I remember having a conversation with my mother once. I purchased my house, and me and my husband at the time were not married, and she was like, well, what's all this left to do now is to get married. And she was giving all of these dates and everything, and so I was just sitting there and I said, well, yeah, mother, that sounds really, really good. But unless that man come in here and ask me to marry him on anywhere near them dates, we won't be getting married. That's just not something I'm doing. I'm not going to take that away from him at all. Now, I may help pay some bills. I may pump some gas, but I'm not going to take that away from him. He can have that.
Jimmy, why is that happening? Why are women asking? Oh, Lord, I'm about to ask Jimmy a question about women, y'all. And women, I want y'all to share your answers in the why are women proposing to men now, Jimmy? What do you think? Hold on, I got to unmute your mic. There you go.
Okay, I think a lot of it is desperation.
Oh,
I think a lot
agree.
I think a lot of women, black women specifically, are desperate. And my question to the black women that will
everybody on here black. You ain't got to say black women every time. I think that be part of the reason why I think they get.
Well, I'm just specific because
but everybody on here black.
Us.
Just say women.
Okay.
Just say some
okay.
women.
Okay. Well, I'm asking, I'm wanting the women to listen to me.
Okay.
And my question is, watch this, because women hate rejection. My question to a lot of women is, when you shoot your shot, can you handle the rebound of rejection? Listen at that, what I'm saying. When you shoot a woman, should a woman shoot her shot? I don't believe a woman should, because she's taking on a man's role. And what I'm saying to a women, I'm gonna say it again, and I just want you to hear me. When you shoot your shot, can you handle the rebound of rejection? If that you go on your knee and that man, see, because I'm gonna keep it real, women, so y'all can just listen to me, and it's not, I'm not beating you or bashing, but listen at this. If a man won't propose to you, he don't want you like that. If a man does not propose to you, you are not the one. Period. I'm not trying to be hard. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm trying to be as real. I'm trying to tell you how men feel. If a man does not propose to you, you are not the one. Listen to that. I just want you to hear that and breathe and take that in. That's all I want you to do.
That's true. That's true. But you see, unfortunately, you see women proposing on social media. You see women proposing to men, and some of these men are actually accepting the proposals.
I think that they're accepting the proposal to not hurt that lady feelings.
Absolutely.
And I'm not a man. I just think that you have gotten in front of God and country and then got yourself down here, and he don't want to embarrass you. Now, there was one where the guy got up, and I don't know if that was her friend or not, but they exited. And that father, that father should have told that girl, don't you go and ask no man to marry you.
Right.
Because the father gonna say, you gonna do my daughter like this? And in my mind, I'm thinking, how did you let your daughter go in there and propose to this man? That was stupid on his part. Yeah, he gonna do your daughter like that.
And they obviously did not have a conversation prior to it.
Nobody talked about that.
And people don't and people don't listen. Because people hear what they want to hear. And I've had situations where I've told somebody point blank, no or whatever, and I wasn't interested or whatever. And they'll sit there and tell me I'm a liar. I'm like, for real? I sat here and told you that I'm not, and I meant that from the bottom of my heart, but people hear what they want to hear. What Sharia saying? Sometimes when a man proposes a woman, he doesn't want. I've witnessed it before. Okay.
I think I would say this, and that's a strong role reversal. I don't know You know what? Who started that? Chrissy from Love and Hip Hop. She proposed. She been with Jim Jones probably longer than I've been on this earth, and she proposed to Jim Jones because he would never ask her to marry him. And I think stuff started going downhill from there. It's just certain stuff that we should just leave. We should want to leave all these things for the man to do. But that's just one thing that the roles have reversed, and it's just horrible.
Let me and let's go back a little bit further, because like I said, y'all hear me reference Willie Lynch every now and then, and they question whether or not it's a real document or whatnot. But in Willie Lynch's letter, they said that the roles would become reversed because women would be raised to be psychologically independent, boys would be raised to be mentally weak but physically strong. And when you look at what has morphed, the male that has morphed in our society, the female that has morphed in our society, I mean, things have changed. I mean, morals have changed. There was a way that seemeth right, that used to seem right, and it just ain't right anymore, because now it's more of an anything goes society, right? And so with this anything goes society, that you got so many individuals just have changed, and we don't have the same morals. Marriage, I mean, we got our children now. Thankfully, my kids are almost grown, but our kids go to school now with 2 mommies and 2 daddies. You know what I'm saying? And you got things that are legal now that didn't used to be legal, and roles have been redefined. You know what I'm saying? And so with the roles being redefined, it's hard to know what's truth and what's not truth. How do you navigate through those times? Because you got your kids going to school with people who don't necessarily have the same morals that you have, or don't have the same ideals about marriage or the same ideals about family. And your kids are going to school with those people and are graduating, and now they're being lured by all types of suggestion. How do you handle those types of things?
To me, I think it would be along the same lines of teaching our children about everyday life. How to tell your daughter, teach your daughters things that we're supposed to do. I'm not gonna say we're supposed to do, that are supposed to be right and wrong. You know what I'm saying? So just like we teach our children about that, we can teach our children about other things, and also show them, those type things. I'll give an example. Like I said to you about taking out the trash. I remember her daddy was like, come on, finish up. She want to learn how to take out the trash. And I was like, no, that's not what we're going to teach her. That's not what I want her to learn. So I feel like if you teach your children what it is that you want them to know, then the world won't teach your children.
What you think, Jimmy?
I agree. I totally agree with Ashley, because it starts at the home. And right now, being that the family structure in our race has broken down, and majority of the households are, women are leading. There's a breakdown with the little boys not knowing how to be a man. There's a part that he's missing, and so when he gets older, watch this, he's seen his mother be strong for him. When he grows up, how do you think what type of woman you think he gonna pick? He's gonna pick a woman that's gonna be strong for him, that buys his clothes, feeds him, take care of him. He gonna put all the pressure on her, and that is not right. But because we have a breakdown in the family structure, this is the outcome and the consequences of the type of men that a lot of women are complaining about today. They're effeminate, they're not providers, they're soft, they're weak, and that is the problem. And they can't step up because they're missing the male perspective of how to be a man. And that's the problem. It's not blaming anyone. Nope. It's blaming the way our race has come to where we are. And that's what I'm trying to get people to listen to what I'm saying, listen to the what's going on, so we can have a solution and not point the finger, because it's not, we too late about pointing the finger. We need to be trying to say, okay, the man needs to provide, and he needs to learn how to listen, and he needs to learn how to take care of his business and be responsible and consistent.
Come on, Jimmy. Come on.
Absolutely. I read a tweet earlier today, and this tweet said this. Hear me, because I can't figure out. I hadn't figured out how to share my screen to put it on the screen just yet. I'll figure it out hopefully by next week. But this is a sister speaking, and she said, "I dream of never." Hear me when I say this. I dream of never being called strong again. I'm exhausted by strength. I want support. I want love. I want understanding. Not patted on the back for how well I take a hit or how often. That's deep.
That's good.
Do I need to read it again? Or y'all got it?
No, that's real good, because what we as men are wanting is a resilient woman and not a strong woman. We want a resilient, loving, caring. And I'm not negating a woman's experience with immature men she's had. We're not even talking about those men. We're talking about the man that God has for you. Because if you would have had the man God had for you, you'd still be with him. And so what I'm saying, God has a man for you, but the Bible says he who finds a wife finds a good thing. So when he finds you, you have to have a wife mentality.
So he has to find her.
He has to find her, and she has to have if he's a husband, he has to find you with a wife mentality. Not broken, not toxic, not in a hole, loving yourself and knowing your worth. That's the only way a masculine man is going to be attracted to feminine energy.
Yeah, that's good. Here and here's another cute quote. This is a tweet by Carrie Hilson. And y'all, this has been a good conversation so far tonight. I appreciate everybody that's on. If you're still on, do me a favor, hit that share button right quick. Just go ahead and share it. We're going to be on for probably another 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes maybe. And we'll keep on going. But Carrie Hilson said this tweet right here. She said, men, and this is for men, sisters. We talk to men too. But men who provide emotional security and display wise leadership will get the softest, most feminine, relaxed, trusting, guard down, submissive, nurturing version of their woman.
Mm-hmm.
If a man provides emotional security and displays wise leadership, he gets the softest, the most feminine, relaxed, trusting, guard down, submissive, nurturing version of their woman. It sound good, ladies?
That sounds so true. So true. It's easy for us to submit to great leadership than it is with somebody that don't seem like they got a plan. It's almost like listening to the maps person, and it has told you to go places. It has told you to go to the wrong direction 3 times, and you just think you're gonna keep listening to it. We're gonna turn that off, and we're gonna stop and ask somebody else for help.
Oh, absolutely. I get that. Let's explore what Craig said right here. Hold on, Jimmy. We're coming to you. Jimmy, go ahead. Go read that for me, Ashley.
Hold on. I agree. Psychologically affect. Hold on, because you don't put it on the smile. You don't put it up here. I've been reading it from the other side, but you can go ahead.
I'll take it down. Hold on.
Let me go on this other side. I agree. Psychologically effects of slavery. As a father of 2 girls who both are successfully married, I still taught them independence, to take care of themselves, taking out the garbage included. Some marriages break. Hold on. Y'all, I'm getting sleepy, so my eyes are getting.
Hold on, I got you. I'm gonna help you out. That's what we're here for. I agree. Psychological effects of slavery, albeit as a father of two girls who both are successfully married, I still taught them independence, to take care of themselves, taking out the garbage included. Some marriages break, and women will have to take out their garbage. So if marriage don't work, then yeah, they still got to end up taking out their garbage. But Craig, I think the difference right there is that you taught them that though, that thing. You taught them that, and in teaching them you taught them independence, but them watching you and your wife, they also saw interdependence, and that's that. So it's not just what you taught outwardly. It's also what they picked up subliminally by being in the house. They watched you be a man and do what you needed to do to provide for your family. And they probably watched their mother work with you as well. And so in doing the independence piece, you also taught them interdependence, because you can be independent and interdependent at the same time. The problem is when interdependence is absent, you have independence with no interdependence. Am I saying that right, Jimmy?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's totally correct, because a real man wants a woman that's independent within the relationship. He wants her to have her own. He wants her to have her own voice, her own opinion, her own feelings, her own emotions. But he wants her, because the reason that the relationship has to be interdependent is because a man wants to be needed. Men want to be needed. If we don't feel, we're not going to stay where we're not needed. And so interdependence gives men a need, because you're relying on him and you're dependent on him to handle his business, and that feminine energy inspires him to take care of his business.
That's good stuff. What you think? Go
I
ahead.
was actually going to go back to another point of go back when someone said something about women raising boys. And I just want to see how many women would agree with this. Do you all think that you could allow your son, if the father was in a perfect position, not perfect position, but was in a stable condition, to allow your son, even though y'all aren't together, to go and live with his father to ensure that he learned those great values of a man, versus you trying to teach him how to be a man?
And let me put a disclaimer on her statement, even though let me just take that liberty. Let's assume that the man is in a stable position, that he has a right mind. We're not talking about your baby dad that you're upset with. We're talking about in a perfect real world scenario, if everything was, all things being level. If you had a choice, you and him, y'all had a baby together. It's a boy, it's a male child, and y'all agreed y'all not gonna be together, not gonna get married, but for the sake of the child, would you be willing, or would you suggest that the child be raised with his dad? Monique says, let's put Monique's comment up. Monique said, yes, I did at one point allow my son to live with his dad. How did that work for you, Monique? And Monique, let me put the link up, because Monique was on last week, on the couple of weeks ago on the podcast. Monique, I'm gonna put the link in the chat, and if you want to come on and talk, feel free. But I really would like to hear your story. You said you had a son. Okay, answering your question as well, Ashley. Sharia said if she had a son, she would definitely encourage her son to go and live with the father. And then she said she also advised her son to seek out a male mentor. He needs to see somebody like him. He needs to see somebody like him. She said it went well. Go ahead.
I only have a daughter, one daughter. And I always said, I don't know if the Lord will bless me with some more children or not, but my child is 14. So, if I'm done, I'm done. However, if I had a child and it was a son, and for some odd reason, the stars want to align, and then we was like, we're going to go our separate ways, I would agree. Now, I don't know how my folks would feel, but I would feel much better with him growing up with his father than coming in the bathroom, watching me do everything that I'm doing and learning my ways instead of and this is him learning what I'm doing could channel and change his whole perspective of life. I would feel much better. I would put myself aside to allow him to be able to learn the ways of a man.
You would do that? And see,
I would.
And the women in the chat that are still on, Sharia said she would. Monique said she did, and it went well for her. Y'all remember that movie? What was it? Boys in the Hood. When Lawrence Fishburne, Trey went to have the son, the mother realized that she had done all she could do with him. I don't know if he growled at her or barked at her or whatever, but he wasn't doing what she
It was too
wanted him
late.
to do. It was, and so she sent him to live with his father, and it requires some tough love. And tough love ain't always the best language. I mean, I was not one that responded well to tough love. You don't handle me like that. But it was just don't do it. It was just, but it was good. Were you going to say something?
No, I was just gonna say I totally agree. My mother was a single parent at one point in time, and I'm the oldest of three, and I have a brother, and all of us was afforded a wonderful lifestyle. But for some odd reason, that boy just was doing whatever he wanted to do, and at some point in time, I feel that a boy becomes used to or immune to what his mother gives out. The whoopings don't work no more, all of that great stuff. So I feel like at that point in time, he wasn't listening to nobody.
Mm-hmm.
And so, whereas his father was around, he knew my dad as his dad. And so he grew up with my dad. But of course, when my mom and dad, when they went their separate ways, it was just him doing his own little thing. He wasn't listening to nobody. So it was kind of like, now you're going to succumb to the knowledge that you're learning in the streets, which that ain't working for you because you didn't grow up in that lifestyle. It's kind of hard to learn how to be a thug, I feel like. That's just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't grow up in it, you can't learn how to be a thug when you get to 12th grade. Now you want to try to be in the streets. And so I feel as though if you can take that, if it doesn't work out for you, then to let them go live with their daddy so that, they won't get out there and be, lost. I'm not saying that mothers that raise their sons that, I know some single mothers that raise sons and they wonderful. So I'm not saying that a woman cannot, but there are some that have tried it and it didn't work. And their children have, turn to the streets.
Gotcha. Lady Karen Hayes, you said, yes, we had joint custody and it worked wonderfully. So with joint custody, who did the child live with, the male child live with the majority of the time? Did he live with you and then hang with him on holidays and weekends, or how did that work out? How did that work out? What were the dynamics of that relationship? Jimmy, go ahead. You got anything you want to say?
No, I just think that both parents have to be willing to co-parent if they're not they're not in the house, because it's about the child. It's about the education. It's the building of the child. It's the giving the child an awareness of relevancy and life, and not candy coating, because social media teach him if the parents don't teach him or her. And so I think we just have to. It has to be a both people being accountable and being responsible to co-parent correctly. And at a certain time, the father should come in if he's not there present daily. I believe it comes a time when that boy gets to become a teen, because when a little boy becomes a teen, he think he grown. And he gonna start doing grown things, and he needs that man to put him in his place to let him know he's not grown, and to show him he's not grown by teaching him life lessons. And so I just think it should be a co-parenting, regardless of me and you didn't work out. It's a responsibility of both people to raise the child right.
Yeah, and I want to say this as well. I think there's some very rational people on this live right now. Even in the chat, even with us that are the panelists right now. I think we're some very rational people as far as co-parenting and things of that sort, of that sort. But there are a lot of horror stories where women don't want to allow the man to see the child. The man don't want to see the child for whatever reason. We like to talk. We talk about real, what should be, but a lot of times what is, and we try to, I think, judge everybody else's situation by our situation. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. When people are really, really, really dealing with some horror stories. I mean, you look at some of the stuff on social media, and I hate to have to base everything on social media, but social media is real life, because most of what we see has that whole www in front of it. You know what I'm saying? And so it can go viral at any point. And you see these viral videos of people fighting over I mean, what's the one video now? The boy who goes to the house at 6 o'clock in the morning to see the son, and the woman is sitting, won't open the door, won't let him come in. Then she has her current boyfriend come and threaten to beat him up and all this stuff. And I mean, the boy,
Yeah, I saw that.
yeah, you know, and that was a rough video, man. That almost brought tears to my eyes for that boy going through all of that to try to see his child. Maybe it was a little off at him being there at 6 o'clock in the morning, but I don't know what happened prior to help. But there are instances where children are kept away from the other parent because parents have their own personal issues. And with them having their own personal issues, how do you navigate through that? How do you navigate through that? I mean, you upset with him. Why do you use the baby as leverage?
I will say this. There's a time in a life, first of all, where children get to the age where they can make their own. I feel like they can make their own decisions as it relates to communicating with the other parent. Now, there were sometimes it may not even have anything to do with the parents. And it may not have anything to do with jealousy, but it also may have to do with the drama behind the having to deal with the other parent. So sometimes it's much more of a safety or drama issue that we don't deal in. It doesn't matter how much you try to help, how much you try to co-parent, how much you try to get an understanding. Somebody is going to always be unhappy in the situation. If you don't bark right, they mad. If they got ignorant spouses, their other spouses, because, you know, sometimes they got ignorant people in their lives.
Yes,
and it's not that, because they always try to make it seem like it's the ex that has the issue. And sometimes it's not the ex that has the issue. It's the current. And the current can't get over the fact of what may have been with the other, so they cause issues. You know, some of these new parents, they cause friction because what they do is they feed those parents with negativity, and so it causes a lot of friction behind. So sometimes you just don't want to deal with the drama. And then when you get, I say my child is 14, so I feel like at some point in time, you know, she's a girl, she may not want to deal with going or doing, you know, whatever. And it's not that she may not want to deal. It's just, I mean, it's not that it's a love hate or whatever. It's just, I don't want to deal. And it has nothing to do with the actual parent. It has something to do with the other parent or the other situation, or how it's not peaceful, or how it's not conducive with the way they were raised. So sometimes it's I don't feel comfortable. I don't want to deal with the drama. Kids have feelings too.
That's true. And you brought up an interesting paradigm. When you have baby mama, you're in a new relationship, and the new relationship, the woman is trying to put her foot down and mark her territory. And now you got to navigate between keeping her happy, because she is your wife, and then what you got at the other house. You know what I'm saying? That, and men, I'm a type man, like I said, I don't like drama. I don't like drama at all. And when you find yourself in that type situation, that's tough to navigate. And then the obligation at the end of the day is to your wife. I mean, I'm saying that with a question at the end of it a little bit, because if you're married, is that your first obligation? Is it first obligation? Because people gonna say the first obligation to your child, but
no, the first obligation is not necessarily to your child. However, it would be just like, if I'm acting ignorant as your wife, you should put me as your wife in my place.
Easier said than done. What you go ahead.
I'm just saying, because there has to be some level of, you know, a lot of times people don't want to deal with the other spouse because they ignorant. And so then it becomes I didn't sit down and procreate with you, so I don't even have to deal with you on that level. A lot of times, if you feel like if it's going to be a discord or some type of drama behind dealing with that mate, because, you know, every woman, I speak for me, every woman would like to have a cordial relationship with their other child's parent, I mean their child's parent's significant other, but sometimes it doesn't work out that way. So in that case, sometimes it's best to deal, and it ain't got nothing to do with you wanting that person. It just has to do with, I would much rather create, if I need to have some drama, I want to be the person to create the drama. I don't need you creating the drama for me.
Now,
So
when you say you, when you say I, at what position are you in the relationship? Are you the?
I am the custodial parent.
Okay.
Yeah. I want to be able to create my own drama. So sometimes you just rather remove yourself from that situation until they learn how to get it together.
And that's what the man does as well. Now you got two individuals who are both avoiding drama, and the child is still the casualty.
Well,
and
that's why I say you have to put your mate in their place. If it's causing some problems, if they can't sit down and have no conversations about it, then at some point in time you're gonna have to say, now look now.
That's easier said than done, putting your mate in the right place, another grown
it's
person.
Not if your mate is wrong. Now let me say this. If your mate is wrong, if your mate is wrong, at some point in time, you can't just keep letting them be reckless like that now.
Good luck. What you think? What you think, Jimmy?
Well, this is how I see it. If I have a mate, the woman is supposed to create the atmosphere of peace, and the man is supposed to maintain it. Listen to that again. The woman, with her femininity, creates an atmosphere of peace for the man, and it's the responsibility of the man to keep that peace in that house and to regulate and to protect the woman that he's with. So listen to that again. The woman's job is to create peace, and the man's responsibility is to maintain that. And so when a man is mature, he's going to protect his woman, and he's not, even the baby mama, she can't get out of hand because he's going to check her too about the woman that he's with. And it doesn't have to be mean or whatever, but he has to let her know where the line is drawn, because I got someone else now, and this is where we are with it as it relates to the child. We want to do everything for the child, but you just can't do anything, and you can't talk to her any kind of way. And I want to respect both of you. So it's the woman's responsibility to create an atmosphere of peace in the home, but it's that man's responsibility to maintain the peace and regulate and to keep his woman comfortable and keep her in a position where she can be a feminine woman and she don't have to come out of character and be worried and stressed.
There's a movie called Bad Dad Rehab 2. It fits the topic of this show. Okay, I need to check that out. But yeah, I like that, Jimmy. The woman creates the atmosphere. Do y'all agree with that? The woman creates the atmosphere of peace.
And I'm saying that because men.
But if you ain't got no peaceful woman at home, then hell, you just shit up a creek. Excuse my language.
And that's what I'm saying is men want peace. We want peace. We don't want love. We want peace. Peace is love to us. And so if a woman creates an atmosphere of peace, that's where he wants to be. And that's where he'll want to stay. If she creates, because that's where his soft spot, his sweet spot is being with you in a place of peace and tranquility and loving and compassion and femininity and caring. That's where a real man really wants to be.
I think that's good. I think
you better come on, Jimmy, honey. They're gonna love you before we get off of here.
No, they all over. Everybody over there agreeing with Jimmy now. Look at Sharia. I agree, Jimmy. A minute ago, she ready to jump on him and come through the karate kick, and she can fight too. I'm not joking. I ain't never seen her making that part up.
He ain't gonna fight her. He's a lover. He ain't gonna fight her.
Now, Monique asked the question, Jimmy. I think she's gonna want this answer from you. She said, "What if a man comes in and disrupts the peace?"
He not the one.
Well,
and it's not your risk. Watch this. You supposed to bow out gracefully and move on. See, you're not supposed to. A man is supposed to add to your peace, baby. You're supposed to be peaceful to yourself. And if a man comes in your life, he's an addition to your peace. And if he's not bringing peace, he's not the one. And it's not your responsibility to try to change him and make him the one. That's the
thing. Say that again. Please rewind that part about change. Say it one more time. Say it for the folks in the back, all the way in the back.
A woman's responsibility is to be peaceful to herself and love herself. And when a man comes in, he's only an addition to your peace. Yeah. And if he does not bring peace and make the atmosphere more peaceful, he's not the one. And it's your responsibility to bow out gracefully and move on and quit trying to change a man and make him to be into who you want him to be, because
Jimmy,
he's not.
what's your cash app? I need to buy you I need to get you. Listen, Sharia, email me your inbox me your cash app. You stuck with me the whole night tonight. I'm buying you lunch tomorrow. Email me, inbox me your cash app.
Come on, Sharia.
I'm definitely Sharia, even though especially since she made a transition tonight, she's actually giving Jimmy.
Let her be great.
Yes,
Let
Lord,
her be great.
I love me some Sharia too. I promise you. I've been knowing her for about 20 some odd years too. Please inbox me. I'm buying you lunch at Zaxby's tomorrow. You can go
Not
to
at Zaxby's.
I was gonna give her on a $5 menu or whatever we got to, but no. But I'm joking.
You can't get nothing at Zaxby's on for $5.
You can't get nothing at Zaxby's for $5. You can get a drink.
You barely can get a kid's meal. Now you gonna get her a meal. She need a meal. She's a growing woman.
How you
honey.
gonna spend my money? I mean, I'm trying to figure out. No, I'm just joking. I'm joking.
I know you got it.
But I got it. How you spend?
Yeah.
As I say again, how you spending my money? All right, but listen, we're gonna start winding the show down now. We've had a good time. We've been on for 1 hour and 55 minutes. This is the second week that we did this. Last week we did it, and we had a really good time. The conversation got kind of deep. Tonight the conversation got deep again. So I really want us to start to understand and know. We're gonna do a part 2 of this.
Yes.
Okay. We need Ashley's a program director, y'all. So she makes sure that we have this together. Now we're gonna approach it from a different angle. And I think we can be a lot more effective now because we don't have to spend the first 30, 45 minutes explaining that Jimmy don't hate black women. So we can start that. We can do that part of it. But real talk, I've enjoyed you all night. Hey Jimmy, pull that shirt up a little bit. Let them see what your shirt look like.
I didn't realize we was wearing our shirts.
Yeah,
I didn't know
the whole purpose of doing the show. Listen, but Jimmy got his On the Path to Better shirt in red and white, and he's a Kappa man. He's a Kappa man. I got mine, and mine is blue and white. Mine,
I have black and silver.
She got black and silver. But our shirts all say On the Path to Better. That's our hashtag, and I wear it every day. I got it in so many different colors because that's my mantra every day. That's my goal. Anything about me, I want to be better tomorrow than I am today. And I'm on a path, and I understand I don't necessarily get there overnight. It takes a process, and that's what these conversations about. These conversations are all about a process. If you're interested in getting a shirt, inbox me, or you can go to the website. I prefer you inbox me though. I can get it to you faster. You can cash out me. The shirts are $18 up to XL, $20 up 2XL and above, and $5 for shipping and handling. It costs me more than that. I promise you, I don't make but about $3 or $4 on this shirt because I try to get it to you all as quick as possible. But if you want a shirt, give me whatever color combination you want. Black, whatever you got, black and silver, right, Ashley? Got black and silver, black and gold. I got blue and white, red and white. I've done pink and green. I got all.
You got green and something. I thought green and something.
Green and gold, I think, is what mine is. Got all kind of different colors. So if you were interested in getting a shirt, and you can let everybody know that you're on the path to better. But more than anything, I want you all to continue to be a part of these conversations. We're having, as Jimmy calls them, the hard conversations. And they're not always going to be peaches and cream. We're not talking about what happened on Love and Hip Hop, although we brought up Chrissy tonight. We're not talking about no whole bunch of mess. We're talking about some substantive things that if we can tackle these hurdles, then we can get to the finish line. And we can't save everybody. We can save a few people, and we can start having some fruitful friendships, and then eventually some real good relationships. And that's what our goal is. But I'm going to give them each a minute to give us a conclusion. And then we'll come back tomorrow night next Monday night at 10 o'clock, and we'll part 2 this conversation. Go ahead, Ashley. I'm gonna let you go first. Then we'll have Jimmy close us out.
I don't have anything major. I just enjoyed the talks with both the fellas and the ladies on tonight. We are definitely on the path to better. We encounter different things each day that test our paths to better. However, tonight's conversation, role reversal, definitely is an area that we all as women need to work on. So that we can make sure we attract. We ain't got to necessarily have Boaz, because if y'all read the story on Boaz, I might not want him, but we want to be able to attract the man that God has for us. That's all I have.
What you got, Jimmy? Close us out. Well, you can say.
Well, yeah. Basically, I want women to know that there is a man that's for you. He may not be perfect, but he's perfect for you. We've made a lot of choices, men and women, and those were the choices that we made. But until we go within and find out our core needs and get a spiritual relationship with God, so we can hear Him talking to us about the person that we should have, that's when you gonna know who that person is for you, where you can vet that man and understand your core needs, because we have to go within and get to know ourselves in order to understand what our core needs are, so that we can vet people properly. Then we can have the right relationship. But God has the right man for you, women. We have to get in
Oh, shoot, I
position
made a mistake.
to receive that man.
I messed up. I'm trying to send Sharia. I asked Sharia for money. I'm sending it to her. My bad, Sharia. Just cancel that request. My fault. But there your money is. All right. I bought Sharia lunch. Now every now and then I might do that. I might buy lunch. I might buy dinner. You never know what I might feel, how I'm feeling that night. You never know what I feel. But I'm trying to create a community. Go ahead.
Before you go, hey, you guys, if you were blessed on tonight and something was, as the people say, was did, done, and said that may enhance your life, and you want to sow into the ministry, I thought I saw his Cash App up here, but Cash App Mr. Intellectual Stu himself, and add to the movement. It is definitely a path or a vision that he has, and it's basically to help the people with different topics, real topics, that people go through. And we just want to, bounce that information off of other people, those conversations off of other people, to gain a different perspective. So again, if you've been blessed, or, something has been said to you that may help you get on or do something different on tomorrow, hit him up in his inbox, unless he's going to put his Cash App on here, and ask him for that yes, and Cash App him. No amount is too large or too small.
Yep. And really, you can just Cash App me $23 and I'll send you a shirt, and I'll be cool with that. Like I said, and I'll make a little $3 or $4 after that. But whatever. I want you all to be a part of this movement. I'm trying to create a community. I mean, I'm not trying to, if you want to be a blessing, that's fine. I mean, God takes good care of me. I promise you He does. But I want to see our community better. And I think that we can do that. But it's a path. It takes work. It takes having hard conversations. It takes being contentious. But more than anything, it takes for being respectful. One thing we're going to do on this show is we're going to discuss. We're not going to have a whole lot of debates. And if the debate becomes too contentious, then I will exercise the power of mute. And if I have to, I exercise the power of X, and I will X you out this conversation, because we're going to respect each other on this thing right here. All right. But if all hearts and minds are clear, now unto Him that is able. I'll see y'all on next week. And I've enjoyed the conversation. Love y'all. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.